So we've looked at two different ways of moving the player character, either with the mouse or the arrow keys. Both of those are going to work for this example, but we're going to add some new objects onto the screen that the player can interact with. So in our case, we're going to make some apples. The cat moves around, and when they collide, overlap with the objects, they're basically going to eat the apples and collect them up. So the first thing is we need to add a new object for the cat to interact with. So we go down to the bottom, choose a sprite. We're just going to use one from the library. Pick this apple and just move it onto the screen. So you'll notice the code has all disappeared, but if we click the cat, we can see we've got our player movement here. We're actually going to do the interaction code inside the apple. It's going to be a lot easier that way. So for that, the code's going to start, as we always do, with the green flag and a forever as well. After that is going to be an if statement. It's very important. You'll notice we keep putting the ifs inside forever loops. If you just have something like this, this will only check the condition once, and it will only check the second you click the green flag, like that. We wanted to always be checking, because at any point in the game, the cat can interact with the apple. So that's why we always make sure the if is inside a forever, so it's always checking throughout the whole game. So our condition, what we need to check is if the player, sprite 1 in our case, is touching the apple. So that's a sensing thing, so let's have a look in sensing. And we can actually use this one, which is set to mouse pointer that we've used before. But if we click the drop down, it will give us a list of mouse pointer, edge, as in the edge of the screen, but it will also list any other objects we have in the game. So sprite 1 in our case. Now we can drag that. So when the game starts, always check if the apple, the object we're coding in, touches sprite 1, and then we're going to make some things happen. The first thing, well, actually, simplest thing is we're just going to hide the apple. So this makes it look like the player has eaten it. And we can also just grab a sound effect to go along with that. So here we've got one called chomp. That sounds good. So we can just drag in this one, play sound chomp until done. Let's see what happens. So we're going to start the game by selecting the cat, move to the apple. And there we go. We could use a different sound effect as well. If we head over to the sounds tab, and then to the bottom here, we can add new sounds to our library. Let's choose a sound. So now we've got chomp and electric piano. Any sound that ends up in this list will appear in the list in the drop down menu here. So I can change this to electric piano. But now when I start the game, you will notice, and I completely forgot to do this, the apple is still hidden. So there's a very important step that I forget all the time, clearly. Over in looks, there's the hide that we used to make the apple invisible, but there's also show. And it's very, very important anytime you hide something, when you restart the game, so on the green flag, that we make sure that we show it again, like that. Happens all the time. There we go. You'll notice the apple didn't disappear until the sound had finished playing, so we could actually swap those two around so it hides it first. Like that.